All right, what would you do if your child was missing? Well, this is what I want you to think about when you look at these two faces, because there's an Amber Alert right now for 16-year-old Hannah Anderson and her brother, 8-year-old Ethan. Here's what we know. Deputies in San Diego say James Lee DiMaggio, that man there, took them and set his home on fire. We know the kid's mother and another child were found dead. DiMaggio could be in a blue Nissan with California tags, the plate 6WCU986. I want to take you over to the evidence room now with Mike Brooks and Joseph Scott Morgan, because one of the first pieces of evidence I know is the fire. So a lot of people would think if you set something on fire, you're probably trying to destroy evidence. But what specifically can they get out of this, Mike?
Oh, as Joseph was talking about, there's so much you can get out of this. But the investigators from San Diego County Sheriff's, they brought in their bomb arson unit and probably have brought in, by this time, other resources, maybe from Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms, the FBI, to take a look at this. Number one, you want to find out what the cause and origin was. Look at this fire. This doesn't look something to me like a small fire that was set accidentally. No, he definitely set the house on fire. Was it to cover evidence during a possible murder? We know that there were some weapons found inside the home. Did they play a role in this? These are all things that investigators are going to look at. And Joseph, a lot of people say when you have this much fire at a house, how much can you find? Well, you can find a lot, especially after they put the fire out. You go in there with arson investigators. Was there an accelerant used? How did it exactly start? Where were the bodies found in relation to where they believe the fire may have started?
Right. And what a lot of these people don't realize is that when they start fires is they just create more evidence layered on top of the pre-existing evidence.
Right.
And one of the things that we're going to be looking for relative to the individuals that are at the fire, first off, is the determination of manner and cause of death. Were these individuals deceased when the fire was started,
right,
or did they die as a result of, say, for instance, smoke inhalation? Also, we want to be looking for trace evidence that's left behind at the scene, like we were referring to relative to accelerants. Was there accelerants dumped on the body? Was it sprayed throughout
Sure.
the house? This sort of thing. And this is going to be critical, because if this gentleman is caught, he could still potentially have traces of this accelerant on his clothing, and this is important linkage back to the scene.
Absolutely, and it helps to put together also a timeline of what happened here.
Yes.
Of when did someone first notice was there a fire? Did any neighbors, did anybody else see anyone coming to or from the house hours before all this happened? It helps investigators put together this timeline. And a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't this Amber Alert put out before this? Well, you have to develop a lookout before you put out an Amber Alert, Christy,
right,
because that's a lot of cops take a lot of criticism over that, but you just can't say look out for when you don't know who you're looking out for.
Hey, Mike, you bring up a good point, because just a few minutes ago we found this picture, I want to show this to you, of Hannah Anderson and DiMaggio. It was on her Facebook page. There they are. This was from apparently a recent trip to Hollywood. So we know that there's a link. I mean, the aunt even told us that they've known this. In fact, the mom, I think the grandmother in this case, talked to a CNN reporter and said that the family knew this guy very well, and it makes little sense. But when we talk about a link here, there's something stuck out to me. They call this guy publicly a platonic friend. What the heck does that mean? I mean, we know what platonic means, but when we do this, rarely have we heard anybody described that way.
No, you don't hear that at all. But, they're making a point to let everybody know, no, this was a platonic relationship. But they're going to go back and they're going to look at his phone, his Facebook, Twitter, any kind of social media he has and what she has to find out what is the real relationship here.